The UN has warned relief efforts in Gaza will have to stop meanwhile over a fuel shortage. Food, water and medicine deliveries will halt within a day unless fuel supplies reach the besieged territory.
There isn't really anywhere to hide above ground in Gaza anymore. Israel knows that Hamas fighters are underground. But the military strategy is starting at the top and in time will go below the surface. The real issue is that the civilians told to move from the north are above ground, trying to survive the aerial bombardment, and it's hard. A land invasion will have to follow if Israel really is going to achieve its goal of wiping Hamas out. International pressure to delay the military moving in for a variety of reasons, but mainly to ensure the release of hostages, is working. But the Israeli Prime Minister addressed the nation with a familiar pledge.
What stands before our eyes is only one thing: saving the country, achieving victory. We're raining hellfire on Hamas. We have already eliminated thousands of terrorists. This is only the beginning. At the same time, we're preparing for a ground operation. I will not specify when, how, or how much.
Civilians in Gaza are desperately in need of everything to survive, from shelter to food to water. But there is a key shortage, and that is linked to everything. It's fuel, and it's almost out. Moving through the bombed-out streets, they collect bodies on donkey-drawn carts. They don't have the fuel to use ambulances. There's not much dignity in death at the best of times in war. This is more sad than significant, but for the families, it hurts. As they bury the latest victims, a man in charge tells them to place a child's body in her dead father's arms. The men leave to get her mother, his wife's body, to join them. In death, they will be together for eternity.
There are dead bodies everywhere. We had to use the cart because there are no transports. The ambulances can't move because there's no fuel. This is too much for us when we cannot cope with the situation.
Sometimes bodies are just loaded onto trucks that do have fuel. The retrieval of bodies is now a continuous operation. The numbers of dead keep growing, and this war seems far from even slowing down. The Israeli military took to social media to claim there is loads of fuel in Gaza, just that Hamas won't release it. Well, they do need it for certain. But regardless of this, the aid agencies that also need fuel aren't in a position to take it off Hamas, so they want it brought in.
The supplies of fuel that UNRWA has and manages are running out, and they're running out fast. Humanity is really failing the people, the civilians, the families of the Gaza Strip. All we're asking for at UNRWA is to be able to allow to fulfill our humanitarian duties. That's not too much to ask. That's not too much to ask.
What happens in Gaza in the coming days is unclear, although an Israeli land invasion seems inevitable. Life there is already intolerable and can only get worse. As it stands, a lot worse.